My neighbor destroyed my garden, so I made sure the whole neighborhood found out why. I spent 3 years building my front garden. I know that sounds like something a retired person says, but I am 32, and I put my whole heart into that space. Raised beds, a little stone path, climbing roses on a trellis I built myself on weekends. People used to slow their cars down when they drove past. A woman once knocked on my door just to ask what variety of lavender I was growing. That garden was mine in a way that very few things in my adult life had been. My neighbor Gerald did not share the enthusiasm. Gerald was retired, lived alone, and had appointed himself the unofficial aesthetic director of our street. His own front garden was a perfect rectangle of concrete with 2 identical box hedges trimmed to within a millimeter of their lives. No flowers, no color, no joy. Just Gerald, standing at his window, watching. It started with notes, little printed cards through my letterbox telling me my trellis was too tall, that my roses were dropping petals on the pavement, that the whole thing looked, and I am quoting directly here, cluttered and eccentric. I ignored them. Then he started talking to other neighbors, telling them my garden was bringing down the look of the street. I found this out because my neighbor on the other side, Paula, told me with barely concealed delight that Gerald had been conducting what she called a one-man smear campaign. I still did not engage. I smiled at Gerald. I waved. He looked through me like I was a window. Then one morning in April, I came outside to find my trellis had been pulled away from the wall. My climbing roses, 3 years of growth, were collapsed on the ground, roots partially torn from the soil. My lavender bed along the front wall had been walked through deliberately, stems snapped, plants crushed. It looked like someone had done it slowly and carefully rather than by accident. I sat on my front step and I genuinely could not speak. I had a doorbell camera. I had not thought about it in months. I went inside and opened the app with shaking hands. There was Gerald, 2:17 in the morning, methodical, almost gentle in how precise he was being. He spent 11 minutes in my garden. I did not go to Gerald. I did not knock on his door or shout at him or do any of the things I wanted to do. Instead, I made a single printed sign on A3 paper. It said, "My garden was destroyed by my neighbor at 2 in the morning. Here is the footage." And I put a QR code underneath that linked to the video, which I had already uploaded and set to public. I laminated the sign. I taped it to my gate. By 9 in the morning, 4 people had knocked on my door. By midday, the local community Facebook group had over 200 comments. Paula texted me a string of emojis I had never seen her use before. Gerald did not come outside once that entire day. His car did not move for a week. The police were involved. Gerald admitted to it. There is an ongoing civil matter I cannot fully discuss, but what I can say is that the words criminal damage have been used by people with official lanyards. I replanted everything. Neighbors I had never spoken to brought me cuttings and seedlings. One man dropped off a rose bush with a card that just said, "We are rooting for you." I put it right at the front.